Bienvenue. Now I'll turn it to English. So, good morning and welcome. Welcome to Montpellier. For those who were at the party last night, I hope you had the privilege to admire the Soulage painting and the Polyakov and the bacon. For the others, you have to come next year. We have a very, very packed agenda this year. So, to make sure we keep time and focus, I'd like to introduce Marjorie Payan, a famous anchor in France, and it is your first time, so a big round of applause for Marjorie, who will be our MC.
Thank you very much, François. Thank you very much for you to be here today with us in Montpellier. I'm thrilled, of course, to be here for a new edition of the DWS Summit, 39th edition, if I'm not mistaken, and we do have 48 hours together to invest in our digital future. You'll see we'll have tremendous experts, speakers, guests for you, startups also, to try to understand and deep dive into this upcoming future that is totally disrupting our lives in industries right now. So, actually, I'm saying 39th edition for DWS Summit, but it's the 40th anniversary of IDAT.
Thank you, Marjorie. By the way, who is born after 1977 here? Raise your hand. You too?
After.
After.
Yeah.
I feel very old. So this year is a special anniversary for us, and 40 years into the digital world is like 300 years. And 40 years also is a personal thing for me. I'm not 40, by the way, but in 1977, I had my baccalaureate, I was 16. My parents were so proud. They say, hey, François, we're going to buy you a motorbike to celebrate, your grade. I say, no, I want a computer. So at the age of 16, I had a kind of black box. And with this black box, I started to create waves. I was a musician as well. And that's how I discovered, the digital world. So I'm not a veteran, but I was lucky to look at, the evolution of this market. And remember, in 1977, there was, in technology, in telecom, we were not talking about customers. We were talking about users. There was only one technology voice. The computer, like Star Wars or James Bond, was a big box with these big records. There was no CD, there was no DVD. The software was something very packed. And what happened during 40 years, it's absolutely unbelievable. We had 0G, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G. The computer get faster, smaller, very powerful. The software has developed like crazy, and today you have hundreds of millions of codes developed. And knowledge was something that the boss had. I'm your boss, I know more than you, and my boss knows more than me and everybody. Now the knowledge has been non-discriminated and shared by everybody. So in 40 years, there has been a tremendous change in our industry. What we've been doing at IDAT for the last 40 years, under the leadership of Yves Gassot, which I really want to pay a tribute today, we've been here with you, with our members, with our customers, with the industry, with the regulatory environment, to look at the future, to find the weak signals of the change, and provide to our members some thought process. So the last 40 years, we've been decoding what's going on. We've been issuing a lot of publication, helping this complex world to evolve. When I joined IDAT in 2011, when I was elected to this honorary job to be chairman of IDAT, with Yves Gassot and the other member, we've developed something very different. First of all, because I'm a business guy in my heart, but with a strong academic background, we wanted to be the number one in Europe. So we developed a lot of, we've launched a lot of publication. Now we have 65 per year. We've asked a lot of members to join. Now we have 68, including 12 startups. And we've launched also a lot of events. One of these, we had one event, now we have 43. And last but not least, thanks to all the consultants, we've been at the forefront with the public authorities, regulatory, and our big customer to advise them on the digital transformation. So the last 40 years has been fascinating. The last 6 years for me has been fantastic, but the best is to come. I was in Riyadh 2 weeks ago, and where they launched this 500 billion project. By the way, we had dinner with all the ministers who are in jail now, so it's a fast process in this country. And one of the best presentations I saw was the presentation from the chairman of SoftBank. He talks about million, because the purpose of this conference was 2030. And what's going to happen in the next 15 years is 3 things. First of all, the speed of connectivity will be multiplied by 1 million. Second, the power of the computer will be multiplied by 1 million. And then all the IoT will become real. It's becoming real right now. That means there will be plenty of sensors everywhere that will collect data, aggregate them, send it to the connectivity in the cloud where you have trillions of lines of codes. This is exactly how the left brain works. Neuron, synapse, sensors, capacity to treat information with IA into the memory, and lots of software and memory. So the future is absolutely bright. So we've been very excited the last 40 years. I've been extremely happy to be the chairman of DIDA the next 6 years, but the best is to come. The best is to come because the digital transformation is not only in technology, but in the way we behave, the way we live, the way we learn, and I'm very optimistic, as always, about our future. Now it's time to go into the real subject, and I'm very pleased now to welcome our new CEO, Jacques Moulin, who will come on the stage. Jacques has been appointed on July 1st. I'm very pleased to have him on board, and his mission is to move from Europe to the world and conquer the world. Jacques, the floor is yours. Wow. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, François. Thank you for these kind words about IDA DigiWorld. As you've just said, all the IDA DigiWorld experts, engineers, consultants, economists are dedicated to working alongside you, our members, our customers, to map out, to find, to build the digital future. Our anniversary is not a time for nostalgia, but rather a time for a tremendous hope and optimism as we set our sight on a new project, a new added value proposition for our customers and for our members. And we are very proud this year, and it's the first time in the history of IDIT, we are very proud and honored to have the mark of the encouragement of the French president, and he supports our project. But let's go back to our summit topic, investing in our digital future. Digital technology has become an integral part of our daily lives and is upsetting the status quo in all the old industries. We will see more innovation in the next 5 years than we saw over the 5 past decades. Digitization is not, or at least no longer, hemmed in by any borders. It is not confined to any single continent or region. By its very nature, digitization is the groundswell of a new global order, disconstructing and restructuring every socio-economic, political, and cultural paradigm. Some people view the rising tide of the digitalization of the economy with a certain apprehension. My friend, Georges Naon, from the Silicon Valley, set up a theory about the 4Ds. The 4Ds of the digital economy, the 4Ds of the digital revolution. Are these 4Ds the 4 riders of the apocalypse? No. The first D is D for digitization. Everything that can be digitized will be digitized. D for disintermediation, for demonetization, and for disruption. Digitization has triggered debates over disruption to business model resulting from the Uberization of entire swaths of the economy. With the advent of new players, the consolidation of industry around the Silicon Valley GAFA, Big Four, or the Chinese BATX player, and the Indian ones too. Disruption, is everywhere. The blockchain, for instance, is forcing a rethink of the notion of sovereignty for state, but for companies too. Without going back last summer to the debate between Zuckerberg and Musk about the AI, is the AI killing the death? Will we set up a new kind of robots? We will replace the mankind. Will we create the 21st century Homo Deus with Harari? You know, in the IDOT community, we are fully confident and fully optimistic about the potential which has been opened by the digital innovation, the digital transformation. Our digital future depends on our ability to think intelligently about our investment and to choose them wisely.
But actually, Jacques, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're definitely going to invest in our digital future over the 2 upcoming days. But do we have to think more about the investment part of it or the technology part of it?
At the beginning of the digital adventure, there is, of course, the technology which has been introduced by the telco. Without investment, we will not have in place the technology we need to meet the challenge of a digital economy. For example, fiber, 5G require a lot of massive capital investment.
Okay, do you think that this very debate concerns only telcos when it comes to developing new infrastructures?
No, for sure, Marjorie, because as you know, digitization is everybody's business. It encompasses the development of new models for every enterprise, every sector, whether their business is manufacturing or providing services. The autonomous car is, for instance, a perfect illustration of this inclusive model because it encompasses car makers, it encompasses component manufacturers, telco, insurance firm, and so on. By the same token, the digitization economy is not the dominion of the CIO or the CEO or the CFO. It concerns every profession, every department, HR, legal, compliance, marketing, for instance. Customer intimacy is at the heart of customer experience. And that means that we need to invest in big data just to meet the customers' needs, which are changing every time. As you know, for each of the stakeholders, this means gambling, betting successfully on investment that will sustain core innovation. Here, states, governments, but also local authorities have a role to play for implementing institutional policies, but also supporting open innovation, for instance, programs. This is why we have chosen to explore the various facets of the investment through our 5 plenary sessions and our 6 seminars. Enjoy your meeting.
Thank you very much, Jacques. We're definitely going to bet on this future. Thank you, Jacques. Thank you very much, François. Of course, we'll have the opportunity to be joined by you on stage later on this morning. But as you know it, and for the upcoming 2 days also, DWS Summit is definitely your event, so you can join the conversation anytime on Twitter or any social network with the hashtag DWS17.